Hey guys, welcome back to another snapshot video. This time on a Thursday instead of a Wednesday because the snapshot was released one day later than usual. Actually a rather large snapshot, but most of it is not really visible for the survival players. There are a couple bug fixes that are relevant for survival players. We're gonna talk about those later. But I think the bigger news is actually what's not gonna be in a snapshot. 2 days ago, Mojang released a video on their YouTube channel where they announced that Fireflies and the reworked Birch forest won't be part of the update. A lot of people were speculating that we will get those reworked Birch Forest because there was some concept art that was shown during the Minecon live, but as it turns out, Mojang does not intend to change the Birch Forest in this update, and the Fireflies won't be added because according to Mojang, in real life some Fireflies are poisonous to toads and frogs, so they don't want to add that. So the initial plan was actually that the Fireflies would be eaten by the frogs, and then instead of just removing the feature that frogs would eat the Fireflies, they completely cancelled the Fireflies for this update and basically put them back into the idea library. So it actually seems like the update in terms of feature might already be complete. So the last couple weeks we didn't really get anything that was announced before. There was a couple surprises, but it seems like, yeah, now the snapshots are mostly about bug fixing. So unless there are a couple surprise features, it seems like Mojang is wrapping it up and we can also expect a release maybe within the next 1 or 2 months. Next, let's talk about some of the relevant changes in the snapshot. So now we have the possibility to paste structures with a command, the place command. So prepare a structure block here to save this 5x5 structure. There we go. And now if we use the place command, we can select a template. It will be 5x5, and then we can just define the position, rotation, etc. And I think there's even a feature how degraded the structure should be. So if you would try this over here, let's put it to 0.9. Then some of the blocks will be missing. If you would set it to 0.1, then most of the blocks would be missing. The possibility to search for POIs with the locate command has been added as well. So if you type in locate and then select POI, you get a full list of things that can be searched for. For example, acquirable job site. This would be all the blocks that a villager could be assigned to for its job. Then bee home would be beehive and bee nest. And yeah, let's go through the list. Home would be beds. Meeting, you can just try this out, for example, because we got a village nearby. So this would be the bell here. Let's maybe try out a couple more. Yeah, let's maybe try home. 15 blocks away, we can teleport to that. And here's a bed. I already tried out this locate command. It seems like it would only work within the loaded chunks, while some other things, for example biomes, could be much further away than just the loaded chunks. Some people that were code digging the snapshot said this was actually a rather large snapshot. There have been a lot of changes in the background. For example, the way how villagers search for those workstations has been changed, but we'll have to see if there's a performance improvement or if things will be different. A bit too early to call. Let's also check out some of the bug fixes. I went to last week's snapshot to show off some of those issues. The first one was that frogs would often get stuck under the lily pads. That's something I actually noticed myself, that after a while a lot of the frogs would be stuck like this. It seemed like it would try to pathfind out of the water on top of the mud, but the lily pad top prevented them from jumping out. Then the second issue was that if you had a big drip leaf that was powered by a redstone source, a skulk sensor would get activated by this continuously. It created a neat little clock, but this was not supposed to happen. So just a reminder, a powered drip leaf doesn't allow the player to fall through, and if you have a drip leaf that was activated before, was actually getting powered by a skulk sensor, then redstone causes it to go up immediately again. There was also the issue that while crouching, you couldn't jump off a ledge if you had a block above. So I'm actually holding forward, as you can see here, jump, I'm not falling off the ledge. You could achieve it by spamming spacebar, but that wasn't really the intended way. As you can see, this would also work here with the slab. Only works if I spam spacebar. Okay, so let's compare this with this week's snapshot. So the frogs that were stuck under the lily pads immediately escaped as soon as I opened the world. And then let's also take a look at this contraption here. As you can see, the skulk sensor doesn't get triggered continuously anymore. Let's try jumping off the ledge. So this works while crouching as expected. It's also no longer possible that ancient cities would intersect with the mine shafts. I had this happen a couple times myself, looked rather odd, but I think with this change it will also be slightly more difficult to find an ancient city because it's less open to the surrounding terrain, for example, with the mine shafts, but it shouldn't matter that much. Alright, so there were also some changes that are mostly relevant for server owners when it comes to the chat settings, but I think I covered the most interesting features for the survival players. As I said before, at this point there are no announced features left to be implemented, since the Fireflies won't be added in this update. It also makes me wonder about the reinforced deep slate again, the center of the ancient city, if it's really just a decorational feature or if it will ever have a use. Or if we'll see it maybe in the Caves and Cliffs update part 4. So this deep dark in ancient city realm was originally actually intended to be part of the Caves and Cliffs update, which has been split up in 2 parts. The ancient city has been added basically in part 3 of this update. Maybe we'll see a use for the reinforced deep slate in part 4 1.20. We'll have to see. But that's it for today. Thanks guys for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.